Well, happy Tuesday, everyone. It's Greg Dixon, Chief Trader and Investor for Trend Trading for Financial Freedom. And I'm going to do something that's pretty risky. I'm going to show you my Kraken account and maybe even do some trades live. What could go wrong? So the markets have been pretty fickle, crazy lately. And the crypto markets are always kind of that way, and it's but even more so recently. So I'm gonna go take a look, and I'll show you what I'm looking for, and we'll see if there's anything worth putting some money down on. Okay, let's go jump in here. So here's my Kraken account, and this is the home, and it shows you where things are at. Really, I don't have anything in play. I bought some Tron a while ago, and it doesn't move a lot, so it's sort of huddling around. And Balancer was a mistake I made a little while ago, and I'll caution you against doing what I did there. so, so this at the home here. Here's a list of there are basically hundreds of different assets that you can buy and sell on Kraken. And here it's showing you all the top traded ones. So it's the usual ones: BTC, Ethereum, that's the euro, Rave, because you can do some crypto or forex stuff here, Rave, and you'll see the percentages going today is looking kind of promising because it's mostly green. There's some days when this is just a sea of red, and um and you see some of these move a lot. Rave is over 50%. There's a couple down here. This river, it's 195%. So, if you're used to trading on the stock market, and if you've got something that changes 10 or 20% in a year, that's phenomenal here. So, some of these things can change 10 or 20% in a second. So here are the gainers. These are the more extreme ones. They're the mezzo, kind of 177%. Lobos 80. Those are pretty high numbers. And we'll take a look at the charts at those in a few minutes. I consider those too hot to handle because they are so fickle. And sure, you can make 10% in a couple of seconds. You could also lose 10 or 20% in a couple of seconds. So there, I stay away from those in general. So let's go to, this is the main trading window. Whoops. Okay, let's go to something a little bit more stable than that. Okay. So this is actually what I'm looking for here is the bottom here has shows the volume, and basically the green is it's sort of basically positive, red is negative. This is kind of a trend line. This cloud here, that's a Ichiban cloud, which is a little bit bizarre, but it looks kind of cool. And so here, this is something that looks, there's a bit of a surge here, and I'm going to buy some Bitcoin here. Why not? So there are tons of options here when you're buying. There are all sorts of things: stop loss limit, take profit limit, iceberg. All these things are fairly sophisticated. Take a little bit of research to figure out what you want to do with it. I tend to do a market buy. Basically, it buys at market price, but you can set a take profit point, which I'm going to set to 2%, and a loss, basically minimizing the losses. Relatively small gap, though. Bitcoin doesn't necessarily go that fast, and I'm going to do $10. This could be 100, it could be 1,000. I'm still still working on getting consistent wins. So I'm just doing small trades, and so that's one. So that'll show up. So you go into the portfolio, and right there. So it's, wow, okay, showing a bit of a profit. So my timing was good. It could just easily, by the time it executes the trade, you could be could be down. So there, that's all good. So let's see what else we got. So I these let's just look. Let's go back to BTC, and I'm gonna change the view here to be more detailed. I thought I would look at these top traded ones here first, because later on today I'm going to do show what happens with Polar Tensor, which is an AI driven auto trading platform, and it pretty much always trades BTC, Ethereum. Let's see. There we go. Sol, which is Solana, and XRP. And they're all looking pretty good at the moment. There's an ADA here. Let's see what ADA is doing. So they're all doing here. So this is an interesting pattern. This is pretty good. So it had puttered along here. This is generally about a day's worth of the day so far. And it was puttering along here, going sideways, had a little bit of a rise, come down, and then it had a bit of a spike here, and then it's come down and a spike. And so that's pretty good. So ADA again is there's a high volume, and it tends not to have wild fluctuations. And the other thing I look for here is up at the top here. There's this number here. I've got like $942 into the account, and so if this number is going up, I have a number of things. We can't trade it on the desktop platform, but on the phone app, there's a thing called bundles, which is more like a mutual fund where you have various people have collected together, say 4 to 8 different assets, and if that number is going up, generally, it's a favorable market. If it's going down, then what it means is overall things have turned around. And let's see if I can see one that's on the downturn. Let's see. We got the Bitcoin here, so it hasn't turned around. There was something right here. See, there's a little red marker there. So some people they trade by these candles here. So that's something I look at. But it's really hard to reliably figure what that is here. So there's a little bit of red here. It's hard to say what if it's going to carry on or go around. So there's another screen here. It's called Analytics, and this has a lot. Basically, this here is the price. It showed, it's puttered along, made a spike, and then it's kind of going up a little bit, rising. So what I'm looking for is sometimes things will spike, and then people, I think, other traders say, okay, they've taken their profits, they're done with it, and they'll start selling it off, and then it'll eventually go down. This seems to be doing okay, all right. This is rolling volatility, and I find if this is going the other way, going down towards the lower end of things, it tends not to be good. This aggressor differential here, the green lines, basically there are more people buying than selling, and red, and that can be a good indicator. And also with this cloud here, this is the order book imbalance and slippage. So right now there are more people selling than more people buying than selling. And the trading volumes here too, again, like the time, like if we go back, the time here, this trading, this purple area, let's go back to We're in Ethereum. That I'm pretty sure that purple area that it showed was right in here where there was, a batch. So one of the things I look for is like he's going along here, then all of a sudden there's a little bit of a spike there where there was a volume level and then another volume level. So I'm looking at that to see what's going to happen with that. And let's go take a look at the the wild ones, the gainers. Okay. Go to right to back. Mezzo. I haven't seen that one. So so it started off doing nothing, and maybe it's been doing nothing for its entire life. And then for whatever reason today everybody gave it a lot of attention. Sometimes if you search down on the news, there's some sort of announcement or something's happened here. And then there's a massive spike here up here. So, if you happened this could have been a good one if you say, well, that will get there, and then when this massive spike happens. But right now that's gone down, it's going to go sideways. I'm thinking that this is probably the best it's going to do today. And this is what I call too hot to handle. So unless you're in before it does that spike, you're probably just going to get burnt trying to tinker with that afterwards. Because that spike there, what I don't know, even know what that represents. That's maybe 30% spike in a few minutes, probably. So that's pretty wild. And so if I often will trade if something looks like that I don't even know, there's not enough volume to make sense out of it. So this one here, this also did a massive spike, and then it's kind of going sideways now. Um, not Don't know what's happening with that one. And this one also spiked a couple of times, and then it's just sort of idling around. It may or may not be good. So this one, Ray, we were looking at it. It was 50%, so it had gone up 10% since we looked at it about 3 minutes ago. So the other thing, I look for this slope here, like sort of something like 30 or 40% slope. So this one, so it's got kind of mixed signals right now. Um, it's kind of green. So there are different time frames. I can look in this. That's a 15-minute gap there candle, and I can do 1 minute, and that looks actually pretty good. So you know what? In the spirit of, okay, I'm hesitant to jump into this one because it is in the too hot to handle category. And some people say this little candle at the top, if it spikes up there, that's often an indication it's going to turn around, but you never know. That didn't work with these ones. So, yeah, the moral of the story is you 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 have a set of indicators and things that you're looking for, and even if you follow your methodology perfectly, you don't know. Like I've had things that are going on a steady thing, and I said, okay, that looks pretty safe, and I buy it, and then it's like 5 seconds later, it does a 5% dump. So you really don't know. So let's go take a look at. Let's continue down. Okay, that one went on a big roller coaster ride. This is so it would have been nice to be in at that, and then here, that's a big dump. So, and then it's just kind of going sideways there. That'll be interesting to watch to see if it comes back. This one here, this is often this MYX. It's often in the gainer category. This one here that also had a pretty good gain. And that one seems to have leveling out for a bit. And that's the thing, just because they look like they're done doesn't mean they're done. And sometimes they look pretty promising, and then they'll calm down. I've had a few of those ones that have gone up to like this meso here. got up at this level here, and then they'll spend the next 6 months just heading down the hill. So you don't. So that's I try never to buy and hold. That's why when I made the buy, I put a stop loss on it as well as a take profit. Um, so my idea there is if I'm trying to get it, if it surges and sells at a fair profit, it's good. But if it goes the other way, my losses are minimized. And if I recognize the trends properly, I should be better than 50%. So, and I have had days when I've been successful on 8 out of 10, and I've also had days where uh, you know none of them worked out. So it's really hard to tell what's going to happen. I would say I would my sense here is whatever the magic happened, I'm too late in the game. I missed that surge this morning, and and it's really over. So I'm probably not going to put anything in at the moment here because I think we're on the downward slide, even though this is going kind of going up, but a lot of things are looking shaky. Yeah, useless coin. That's one of the fun things about this is the names of these coins are just pretty bizarre. Oh, rails. So this isn't I this is it's gone up 19%. I've had more success in things that are sort of in the 10 to 20% range. Um, they're not too hot to handle, tend to be a little bit more of a steady slope. And oh yeah, there we go. Fart coin. That's one of those funny names. And that actually I'm saying that's got a pretty good slope. It's going upwards, and the volume's going up, and so I think I'm gonna take a flyer in this one, and see what happens. It's a bit like betting on horses because it has they have a name you like. But this one I like. There's a lot of trends. It's overall it's going in the right direction. It's reasonable between the 10 and 20% so far. It's got some potential. And again, I'm not risking. I for a loss for me is like 10 cents or 20 cents on a trade rather than hundreds of dollars. But if I ever get to the point where I'm pretty much sure I'm going to win the majority of the time, I'm gonna maybe I'll be betting $100 at a time instead of 10, putting into the trades. Let's see what else. Okay, I've got a thing called favorites that I've done over the years. This arrow, these are often pretty good. And Avo, bonk. These this is in the funny name category. And this one here, I usually keep an eye on it because there are two coins that they have done like surge 20 or 30% in a day, and could be good. Actually, I'm gonna try this. I could actually. I think I'm going today. I'm just doing the two gain and two loss, but it could be could actually, I could do three gain and to stop loss, but this is a good way. It's a good way of seeing if I'm doing better than 50% and try from there. When I first started doing this, I had gaps that were too high and they didn't work out. So sometimes it's better like if this like little surge here to sell there before it declines rather than hold on and have it deteriorate because lots of stuff can happen pretty fast here. So let's go back, hide that, and let's see what Dash is sometimes pretty good floki. Is Pepe. Bonk and Pepe. Because Pepe has got kind of like a sort of a stinky Pepe Le Pew, I think was probably the inspiration for the coin name. And there we go. So that's the kind of thing here, right? So it's good. Looks like a pretty good surge, but we've got some red happening, and there is more volume, but this may be that little surge, maybe it, maybe late. I'm going to go take a look at the analytics here and see what it does. And oh yeah, okay, over here, see here, this is the trade count, and it's been going up and up and up and up and up. And this is kind of a bad sign when it takes a steep drop and goes down. This can go down to nearly zero. What really means is that the bulk of the traders have lost interest in it. So you can see this in the rolling volatility. It's also rolling off. So this is probably just take a pass on that. This used to remember what I was looking at a little bit better. Something they keep on upgrading it, and it seems to lose it. So, but anyway, so let's see what I've done so far. So see if anything's in the green. Yeah, okay, there we go. Well, the balancer was in a terrible mess before, so that's the fart coin down 16 cents. Bonk, I just bought that, so it's kind of zero. We'll see what's going to happen. Bitcoin's up 69 cents. And my Tron that's where pretty much it was this morning. I've got a take profit at 2%, and it's been hovering around 1.6 to 1.8. So it's going to sell one of these days. Anyway, I think that's all I'm going to do for today. And it gives you an idea. I guess I'll talk a little bit. There's a thing called earn. So even if you just have money sitting there, I'm earning some money on USDC, and so it's kind of like you can park your money in here like you would a daily interest savings account, and it's going to provide some income even if you're not actively trading it, and so but none of it's going to really, like here, I've made $2.26. It's, unless you had a lot of money in here, that's not going to be significant. And you're better off to trade it if you get to be good at the trading part of it, which I'm still a work in progress. And what we're having. Yeah. So anyway, that's a pretty good platform because there's a lot of options, a lot of tools, a lot of indicators. There's way more indicators than I'm using. You may have your favorites, all sorts of trend analysis, all sorts of indicators. Anyway, if you're interested in learning more about Kraken or trying to set up your old account, do some stuff. What I'm using it a lot for now is I'm depositing money. I'm in Canada, and it's pretty easy to so I'll bring in Canadian dollars, and interact transfer. So it's 0 fees to bring it in. Basically say I'm going to put it, say $200 in there, or 1,000 or whatever it is, and then I'll go to my account. It'll transfer it in. It's pretty much instant. Same with withdrawing money out of there is, again, do the cash, take the Canadian dollars. I don't have any, but if I had a US dollar account, I could say take that out, Canadian dollar, take that out. So it's really in that sense, you can put money in quickly, and you can take money out. You can get in and out of trades. So it's a very liquid trading environment, high liquidity, and you can convert things, from, like, if I bring in, for example, if I'm going to send money to my Polar Tensor account, I'll bring it in Canadian dollars. Let's say I put $500 of Canadian dollars in here, and then I'll convert it to USDC, because USDC is a crypto token that both Polar Tensor and also um, Kraken recognize. So that's an easy way to do it. It says I don't have any Canadian money in there to transfer, so I can't do anything there. And okay, so yeah, you may see on the screen it said my canceled. So my fart coin did not work. It sold off, and I probably lost some money. So I in it full uh transparency here, I'll just see what it did. So I put in $10, and I lost basically 22 cents out of that. So the other thing to watch out for, and another reason why I've got my money in Polar Tensor more than trading in here, is the tendency is when the gains on the take profits tend to be smaller than the losses on the stop loss. So let's see what maybe we can do. Okay, we'll go back to home. Let's see what, just for curiosity. Okay. So I do have a spreadsheet that I use to track these things, and what I'll do is I'll actually have a rating, and I'll try to rate some of the things I talked about, like what the volume is, the slope, how I'm feeling about it, even, and things. So here's what happened. It was going up there. It looked like it was promising, going to go up, and then it dumped quite quickly. So that's what makes day trading kind of fun, kind of frustrating, and a bit of an adventure. So there you have it. Yeah. So I think it's a bit of a personality flaw that I have fun doing this, but it's kind of a challenge. So to try to figure out, look at all the indicators, try to figure out if it's a good, if it's a you got a good chance of making some money on the trade. And I always, try to put a stop in there, so that my if I get it wrong, I'm not going to lose things. Nothing worse than having something and then to go terribly wrong, and you're sitting on it and watching it at a 10 or 15% loss and hoping for it to come back up, because it's probably not. So the day trading philosophy is really never hold on to things. Try to avoid entering into something that's going to lose. Try to always pick something that has a good chance of winning, and try not to hold on to anything. Certainly not hold on to losers, because that's really frustrating. You may be in your stocks, maybe you're holding stocks, or you're holding crypto, and you're sitting, the next thing you know, you're down 20, 30, 40% in your portfolio. And you don't even know if it's ever going to come back. So this with the trading, the day trading ideas, the whole thing is you're reusing the same chunk of money. So even um, even if I'm only trading $100 at the time, if I'm successful, I'm buying and then selling at small profits, and you're growing it, so you can grow your money. You're recycling. It's what analogy is like you've got a tide coming in or a tide coming down, or maybe you've got some kind of power generator thing that's riding the waves of the coming in, like the surf, and and if you can figure out how to do that. Uh, Professional traders, really good traders, can make about between just under a percent a day to up to 2%, and average that. So if you can average making as a percent a day, you're ahead of the game. That's basically a license to print money almost. Um, and some will make do even better uh, on certain days, but they're really aiming to be consistently good at it and make a consistent profit, and go from there. So anyway, yeah, if you want to know more about Kraken, want some help getting going, want to know about Polar Tensor, let me know, and we'll go from there. So thank you. It was fun.